Hello students, today I am going to conducting the one NEET classes based on first chapter, that is electric charge and electric field. Okay, so NEET on electric charge and electric field. Okay, so NEET on electric charge and electric field. Now see, first of all we have to go through what first we can see that synopsis. So then we are going to understanding the what CET questions. Now first, what is electric charge? Synopsis on synopsis on electric charge. So first, what is electric charge? Electric charge means what? What do you know about the electric charge? So electric charge means we are going to say that it's a fundamental quantity. Okay, it's on a fundamental quantity, so which can give the influence of electrical, means force of attraction or force of repulsion. So that quantity it is giving, that we are going to call the electric charge. Okay, so some properties we can understand here. So electric charge means what are the things, the some properties are there. The first property we can say that like charges repel with each other, unlike charges attract with each other. Okay, the first we can say that the first thing we can understanding that like charges repel and unlike charges attract. Okay, so like charges repel and unlike charges, so it is a attract. So second things we can understand that it's a additive in nature. Okay, so second we can see that it's a additivity of charge. So next we can see additivity of charge. Additivity of charge. So additivity of charge means so actually we can say that electric charge is a scalar quantity. Electric charge, it is a what a scalar quantity. Okay, so electric charge, what we are going to say, no, it's a what a scalar quantity. So here we are going to understanding that additivity means so the total charge of a system is the algebraic sum of all the individual charges in the system. We are going to see that. What is that? Total charge of a system. That is Q equal to Q1 plus Q2 plus Q3. It may be plus or minus up to Qn. Okay, so the total charge of a system, that will be equal to the what algebraic sum of the individual charges. Okay, so that individual charges in that system we can see that. So this is what we are going to call the additivity. Additivity in nature. So second things we can say that so charge is a conservation of charge. It is a conservation of a charge. In an isolated system, the total charge remain constant. We can see charge neither be created nor destroyed, but it can transfer from one body to the another body also, we can see. Next is the quantization of charge. Quantization of charge ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, so we are going to see that total charge on a body is the always an integral multiple of a base unit of charge denoted by E. Okay, so denoted by what E. So the total charge of any body, so it is equal to the what so integral multiple of so basic charge. So that is a Q equal to plus or minus n into E. Q equal to what is that plus or minus n into E, we are taking it. Okay, so this n is called the what integral multiple we are going to see that integral multiple. This is E is the basic charge, so that basic charge value is 1.602 into 10 to the power of minus 19 coulomb. Okay, so 1.602 into 10 to the power of minus 19 coulomb is the basic charge value, or we can see that it's a magnitude of the charge of an electron or proton. Okay, charge of an electron or proton, we are going to see that. So in 1 coulomb, how many number of charges it will be having? In 1 coulomb, we can see that so that is N equal to Q divided by E. So if I taken the 1 coulomb, so this is 1.062 into 10 to the power of minus 19. So if it is divided nearly 0.625 10 to the power of 18, we are getting it. That is a 6.25 into 10 to the power of 18 number of electrons or protons it is present in 1 coulomb. If I taken the proton or electrons, the same charge, and electron and proton have the same value, so that is a electric charge value is same, that is a 1.602 into 10 to the power of minus 19 coulomb. You have to remember that. And then the mass of the electron is how much? The mass of the electron, we can see that so it's about 9.1 into 10 to the power of minus 31 kg, mass of the electron. So that is a 9.1 into 10 to the power of minus 31 kg. So if I take the one specific charge, okay, so that specific charge of a particle, so if I taken, then what are specific charge of a specific charge of a particle? So any particle means you can take the what, electron, proton, anything. So that is equal to what, charge by mass, we can see that. So that is a charge divided by mass. Okay, adu charge by mass. Suppose if I taken the water, so specific charge of an electron todan tilkore. So electron, the value of specific charge of 10 to the power of 11 coulomb per kg. It's a unit ಏನದಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಇದ್ರದ್ದು coulomb per kg. The unit of this one is a coulomb per kg. Okay, so now we are going to understanding the what, electric force. Electric force means what? Okay, so electric force we are going to understanding next. Electric force means so here we are going to see that Coulomb's law. Okay, so here what we are going to see, the Coulomb's law. So Coulomb's law we are going to understand. Coulomb's law. Okay, so Coulomb's law, it states that the force of attraction or repulsion between any 2 point charge, okay, so any 2 point charge which are at rest is directly proportional to the product of their magnitude of charges and inversely proportional to the square of the distance between them. So that is, we can see that F is directly proportional to Q1 Q2 by R square. Okay, or K we are going to use that K equal to in SI system. In a SI system we are going to see that K equal to 1 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught, or we can above equation we can write down 1 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2 by R square. Q1 Q2 divided by R square. So this is what we are going to call the Coulomb's law. If I want to write down in terms of vector notation, Coulomb's law, it is in terms of what, vector notation we want to write down. Okay, so before going to that, some important points we can see that. So K value in SI system, the value of K is nearly 9 into 10 to the power of 9 Newton meter square per Coulomb square. The value of this one is nearly 9 into 10 to the power of 9. So Newton meter square per Coulomb square. Okay, so Newton meter square per Coulomb square, or it is also we can it's a SI unit also we can write down the what, meter per farad. Meter per farad. Okay, so meter per farad also we can see it. And epsilon naught value, we are going to see the epsilon naught value 8.854 10 to the power of minus 12. This is a farad per meter. It's a reciprocal of this one, farad per meter, or we can see the Coulomb square Okay, so per meter per Newton, per meter per Newton. So in vector form, this we can write down F vector equal to, so 1 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught q1 q2 by r square. This is unit vector, that is r cap. So if I write down the unit vector here, r square it will be there. So the r cap unit vector, it is, we can write down the what, r vector by r. So this value will substitute f vector equal to 1 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught q1 q2 divided by r cube into r vector. Okay, into r vector. Next we are going to see that using a principle of superposition, using a superposition principle, using what, superposition principle, superposition principle. Using superposition principle means here we can see that two way. So one, we are going to understanding that the vector sum of forces would be given to principle. There are two way we can see that the vector sum of the forces, sum of the forces, okay, the vector sum of the forces would give us the, would give us the total force, would give us the what, total force, we are getting it. Okay, so we are getting the what, total force. Another one we can see that two charges, force between two charges is unaffected by, unaffected by another charge, means third charge, we can see that unaffected by the presence of other charges. Okay, so here we can see the summation. Okay, so this is what we are going to total force. We can see that summation I equal to, so 1 to I equal to n. Okay, so 1 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught, this is q1 qi divided by r square. Electrostatic field, electrostatic field means the space around the charge where the influence can be held, that is force of attraction or repulsion can be held. So that we are going to call the electrostatic field. So the electric intensity means force experienced per unit charge is called the what, electric field intensity, we can see that. So that is, we can see, so E equal to F by Q naught. Okay, so it is a vector quantity. So electric field is what, a vector quantity. So it is a vector quantity, vector quantity, and its unit is so Newton per coulomb. SI unit is Newton per coulomb. SI unit, what we are going to see that Newton per coulomb, and expression for this one is E equal to 1 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught Q divided by R square. R square. If I want to write down the what in terms of the vector means 1 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught, so this is Q divided by R square into R cap. Okay, R square into R cap. So this is the water in vector form. It is in the water in a vector form. Okay, this is in terms of the water vector form, we can see it. Okay, so now basic characteristics of this means we are going to see that field lines, electric field lines. Okay, so what is electric field lines? Electric field lines means so one unit test charge, it is placed in the what, a field of source, then that unit charge, it will be moved one particular path. The path followed by that charge is called what, electric field lines. So that is, we are going to call the electric field lines. It is an imaginary lines. Electric field lines are the what, imaginary lines. So this electric field lines always start from positive charge and end on to the negative charge. It will be started from positive to the negative charge. And another thing, sir, so electric field lines never intersect with each other. It does not intersecting with each other, and it never electric field lines never form the closed loop. Okay, so it do not form any closed loop. These are the things we can understand. Okay, so and using electric field lines, it is easily to calculate the so electric field direction also. So direct electric field direction means so if I take the electric field, it is the curve in nature. Say anywhere, any point, if I taken the tangent to that point, that gives the direction of the electric field. So direction of the electric field it gives. Okay, so that is the it gives the direction of the electric field. Okay, so this is what regarding about the. Okay, so now we are going to understanding the next. It is about a electric dipole. Electric dipole means it is associated with the dipole moment. So what is electric dipole? Means two equal and opposite charges separated by a certain distance, that we are going to call the electric dipole, and it is associated with the dipole moment means so it is the magnitude is equal to the product of magnitude of either charge and the distance between the charges. That is we can see that P vector equal to Q into 2L vector. So this dipole moment is a vector quantity. So and its SI it is a Coulomb meter. Now see, this is what we are going to call the positive and negative two equal and opposite charges separated by a certain distance, that is 2L, that we are going to call the electric dipole. This is what we are going to call the dipole moment. Dipole moment and electric field both are in opposite direction. The direction of the dipole moment is negative to the positive charge, and electric field is a positive charge, positive to negative charge. So that is the electric field direction. The line which is passes through the dipole line, that we are going to call the axial line. The line which is mid of this one, middle point means the center of that dipole. So that line is called equatorial line or bisector. It is also called the another name, it is a bisector or broad side on position also we can see it. And axial line is also called the end on position. Okay, so end on position. Now we are going to see there are three concepts you can see: case 1, case 2, case 3. Now first we can understand that this electric dipole. So electric field due to the dipole, we can see it. Electric field due to dipole. Electric field due to dipole. So the first we can see the axial line. On axial line, axial line, it is also called the end on position. End on position. Here I'll go to it. End on position. End on position. So this is the diagram. This is a positive charge. This is negative charge. Here we are going to take the point P. So the electric field direction is towards this side. This is the O is the midpoint of this one. So the dipole length we can take it 2L. So from here to that point we are going to call the R. That point we are going to take it as a R. This is a L. So from O to this minus Q and plus Q, it's about the L only. So now expression of this one, we are going to see that E equal to 1 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught. 1 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught, or 2pr divided by r square minus L square whole square. So here one P unit vector we are going to take it. P vector is the unit vector that is in the direction of the dipole moment. So it is in the direction of the dipole moment. Dipole moment, it is in this direction, means dipole moment direction is like this way. This is the dipole moment. It is opposite to the direction of the electric field. So it is like this. So this we are going to call the axial line. So next we are going to see that equatorial line. So electric field due to electric field due to the dipole. on what we are going to see that equatorial line. Okay, so equatorial line. Second one we are going to see that equatorial line. Equatorial line. It is also known as what? Broad on position. Okay, broad on position or broad side. It is also known as a broad on position or perpendicular bisector. Another it is what we are going to see that perpendicular bisector. Perpendicular bisector. So this is the one equatorial line. Already people are knowing it. So this is one line which is passes through what? Equatorial. So this is positive charge. This is negative charge. It is moving towards like this direction and this direction, and the electric field is towards this direction, and dipole moment is opposite to this direction. Okay, so then we are going to write down the what expression E vector equal to 1 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught P divided by R square plus L square, R square plus L square to the power of 3 by 2 minus P vector. Okay, minus P vector. Now if I think that R is much greater than L, R is much greater than L, if I thought that R is much greater than L, okay, so then this value we can write on the E vector equal to 1 divided by 4 pi E vector equal to 1 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught 2p by r cube, we can write it 2p by r cube. This is the one equation. Similarly here also we can see that if r is much greater than L, r means the distance from here to here, that is the r, this is the L. Okay, so then this equation we can write on the what? E equal to 1 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught p by r cube. So if you take this one end on position, this is what we are going to call the end on or axial. Axial, the electric field is more than the equatorial. So equatorial compare ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಇದು axial 2 times ಆಗ್ತದೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, so we can comparing this one. Here I am going to write down. So this is a E axial is equal to the what are 2 times of the E equatorial. So E equatorial. So this is the one concept we are getting. This is neat based questions equatorial line. So E axial is 2 times of the what? E equatorial. Okay, it's a double. Next, another one we can see that intensity at any point, electric field due to dipole at any point. Okay, at any point we are going to take it. So the third we are going to see at any point. At any point. So this is the one dipole. So this is positive, this is negative. So it is moving like this way. So this is the this is negative charge, this is positive charge, this is moved like this way. This is alpha angle, it is the what? Theta. This is O, this is point P. Okay, so if I taken like this, this is gives the what? Electric field E. So this E equal to E vector equal to the formula for this one is E vector equal to 1 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught P divided by square root of 3 cos square theta plus 1 divided by r cube. So the E equal to 1 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught square root of, okay, so this is P into square root of E equal to 1 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught P square root of 3 cos square theta plus 1, 3 cos square theta plus 1 divided by r cube. So this is one equation we are getting. So and the direction of this alpha and this one, we are taking that tan alpha is equal to 1 by 2 times of the tan theta. Okay, tan alpha equal to 1 by 2 times of the tan alpha. So these are the some important, okay, maximum need question 6. Okay, so now we can see that last in this one, that is electric flux. So electric flux means what? Electric flux over an area in an electric field, it is represent the total number of electric field lines crossing this area. So that is phi equal to E vector dot ds vector or E ds cos theta, we can see that. So application of this electric, that is a Gauss law, we can see that Gauss theorem, what it's saying. So using the Gauss theorem also we can calculate the electric flux, that is total normal electric flux over a closed surface S in a vacuum is 1 by epsilon naught times the charge q contained inside the surface. That is phi equal to closed integration surface closed integration E vector dot ds vector equal to q by epsilon naught. So application also we can say that. So there are three ways we can see. One, we are going to call the linear charge density, that is lambda equal to q by L, that is charge per unit length. So here electric field due to a infinitely long thin uniformly charged straight wire, so that is E equal to lambda divided by 2 pi epsilon naught into R, we are getting it. Next, surface charge density means charge per unit area. So that is the electric field due to a uniformly charged infinite thin plane sheet, we have taken E equal to sigma divided by 2 epsilon naught, we can see that. So next, volume charge density, that is rho equal to, so charge per unit volume, we can see that. So that is a electric field due to a normally charged thin spherical shell at a point outside the shell, that is R is greater than capital R. So E equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q by R square. So if you take the q value in terms of this one, so then we are getting the rho capital R square divided by 3 epsilon naught into small r square. On the surface R equal to capital R, if I taken E equal to, here small r we can write on the what, capital R square, that is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q by R square. Inside the cell, that is the R is much less than capital R, so then electric field is equal to 0. I hope you people are understanding the synopsis. Please take down one screenshot